So. You just mentioned image comics. What are the things that changed most in the industry since you founded Image?
I would say creatively, the biggest shift was when we were all artists at that time, we got plots, outlines from the writers, and somewhere in, I don't even know when it happened because I had my head down, I was just doing Spawn, that they turned to full scripts. And I remember I was in San Diego and I thought it was only a couple guys who were doing it. And I found it horrifying because I had drawn a couple books from full scripts, and I'll show you the scars if you want.
Jeez.
Because I remember it was horrible. So when I was at this table at San Diego, I said, Can you believe some people are doing full scripts? And the writers went, Todd, not some people. And they went, everybody. I went, no, not everybody. And they went, no, everybody. This is how blinded it was. I was just doing my work. I didn't know that the industry had shifted to full scripts. And here's why I say that. Because I like writers. I like them, but I think we're in comic books. If you were going to divide it, 51% is at least 51% at least is the art, the visual, and then 49% is the story, right? Because there's pictures. Do you think that if I had full scripts when I was a young boy and I was working at Marvel, do you think that Spider-Man would look the way that I drew him?
That's a great question. Yeah.
Never.
Never.
Because I would have been reliant then on a writer saying, Todd, I want you to make big eyes, and I want you to put them in this cool pose, and I want you to do these panel layouts that you overlap, like all the stuff that ended up being my style that I just found, all of us that worked in that outline and what we call the Marvel style. We just found our artistic voice on paper, and somebody wasn't giving it to us, right? And so I remember when they said that everybody was doing full scripts, I had to stop and I asked somebody at DC, and a big editor, and I said, so are you saying that if I came back to DC comic books, which I'm not, but let's just play it out. If I came back to DC, you would be getting a 23-year-old writer, and that 23-year-old writer would be telling me how to draw my pages and how many, like, woo, like I went, wow, like it was mind-numbing artistically to me. So, but and here's the other thing that's interesting. DC, these conventions that we're doing right here, right? You have panels, right? We're doing a panel.
We do.
They had this one panel that was called like the Masters of Comics. And it was people like John Romita Jr. and Frank Miller and Greg Capullo, Jim Lee, Andy Kubert. I'm probably missing a couple. But at some point, it struck me, it struck Greg Capullo, that we were standing there going, every person up here grew up, honed their skill on working from an outline. None of us grew up working from a script. And so you've got all these people telling the young kids how to become big artists, but the system isn't the same. And I was like, so if you want the kids to follow in these guys' footsteps, then you need to create a system that is equal. And so I think they've done it a little bit, but not as much as they used to do, which is a shame.
As a final question, one really focused on the art of drawing. Are you quote unquote cursed with that with that feeling of looking at an old drawing and desperately wanting to remake it? No, never.
No.
Because many.
So here's why. If you're going to have a long career, then if each page is a baby, right? Mm-hmm. You're gonna give birth to 1,000 babies. All right. Here's what I can tell you. If you actually do give birth to 1,000 babies, some of them are ugly. Right? Some of them are really handsome. Some of them are beautiful. And then there's a lot of kids in between, right? Your art is the same. Here's the thing. And I try to tell this, I have these conversations with big artists sometimes. Big artists. It would amaze you. There's nothing that I'm going to draw. There's not one page. There's not one panel. There's not one cover or even an issue that I'm going to do that if somebody likes me for the last 25, 30 years of what I've done is going to look at that one panel and say, man, that's not very good. You know what? I forget what Todd did for the last 30 years. This one breaks my camel's back, right? Like, no, they judge you as an artist at a certain point on your body of work, on your career. And either you like that person's career or you don't. Now, I'm not saying do bad work, but what I'm saying is since we have deadlines, you can't be obsessive that everything has to be perfect. You're an artist yourself. We are both going to go to the grave. You and I are the same. We're going to go to the grave chasing the elusive perfection, and none of us are ever going to get it, right? It's what drives us. But it's okay. It drives us, but we can't worry about yesterday. Well, all you can do is just say, hey, I can be better. I can do something. But sometimes you have deadlines, and you just gotta you have to rush things. I mean, I can't say that everything I do every month, every line is perfect, right? So hey, I'm going to show you something before we go, because I just did this cover. I just finished it literally 20 minutes ago. Whoa! All right. And nobody's seen it. They haven't even posted it yet.
Jeez, all right, firsthand then.
So they're going to. I think Image is going to post it tomorrow. What? So, but we're going to show Brazil first.
All right, Brazil. Here we go.
It's a cover. We got a new book by Donnie Cates. He's doing a book called Crossover, right? And so he wanted to have Spawn in it, but it never quite worked out. But I go, come on, I'll do a cover. So I drew his main character. She's reading the comic book. It's actually going to be a crossover comic. And she's going to be saying, man, I wonder who's going to be in this issue. And looking over her shoulder is going to be Big Bad Spawn right there. So
there you go. Cool. You guys saw it first.
That's it. Here. Nobody. You guys have seen it first. That's
amazing. Thank you for this, sir.
Yeah. Can I say one thing before I go?
Sure.
For as much as I've, obviously spent the vast majority of my life in North America, that by far, in the last 30 years of my career, whether it was Spider-Man or Spawn, the second biggest amount of people that send mail in are from Brazil.
Really?
I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning is, but Brazil has been a giant supporter of my career in Spawn. So I'd like to say to all the good people out there, thank you very much for the support and giving me a good career, which is why, like I said, when the movie comes, I'm going to come down there and we're going to have a good time together.
And we'll be here with open arms, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Right. Ciao, ciao.
All right, be good.